Every single night, your brain creates an entire universe and then traps you inside it. You see people who don't exist. You hear voices no one said. You feel fear, love, embarrassment, excitement, all from events that never happened. And the strangest part? While it's happening, you usually believe every second of it. Think about that carefully. Your brain, the same organ you trust to understand reality, can generate a completely fake reality, so convincing that you cannot detect the difference. For around 2 hours every night, you become the victim and the creator of your own hallucinated world. Why? Why would evolution spend enormous energy making humans unconscious just to show them bizarre stories about falling from buildings, talking animals, dead relatives, impossible cities, or memories that never existed? And even stranger, why do some dreams predict solutions to problems? Why do nightmares repeat? Why do blind people dream? Why do some people realize they're dreaming and control the dream itself? And why are scientists still deeply divided about what dreams are actually for? This is one of the strangest sciences humans have ever studied. A field where neuroscience collides with psychology, philosophy, memory, emotion, consciousness, and sometimes pure mystery. This is Oneirology, the science of dreams. Now, before this starts sounding like some intimidating scientific topic, think about something simple. Imagine your phone secretly running dozens of background processes while you sleep. Photos get organized, apps update, files get cleaned, notifications get sorted. You don't see any of it happening. But behind the scenes, the system is busy reorganizing itself. Your brain may be doing something very similar, because sleep is not shutdown mode. Your brain during sleep is often incredibly active. In some regions, it's almost as active as when you're awake, which immediately destroys the old idea that sleep is just rest. In fact, if scientists wake people up during certain phases of sleep, they almost always report dreaming. That means dreams are not rare glitches. Dreaming is a normal biological function, and humans have been obsessed with dreams for thousands of years. Ancient Egyptians believed dreams were messages from gods. The Greeks built dream temples where people slept hoping for divine visions. In China, some philosophers wondered if waking life itself might be the dream. Indigenous cultures across the world treated dreams as spiritual journeys, warnings, or gateways to hidden knowledge. For most of history, dreams were considered supernatural. Then science arrived, and things somehow became even weirder. In the late 1800s, scientists started trying to study sleep systematically. There was one huge problem. Sleeping people just looked asleep. Researchers had no idea what was happening inside the brain. Then came one of the biggest breakthroughs in dream science. In 1953, researchers Eugene Aserinsky and Nathaniel Kleitman discovered REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. They noticed sleeping people periodically entered a strange state where their eyes moved rapidly beneath closed eyelids. And during this phase, the brain became intensely active. When people were awakened during REM sleep, they often reported vivid dreams. This changed everything. Dreaming was no longer just mythology. It became measurable biology. Scientists suddenly realized sleep has stages. Some stages involve slow brain waves and deep physical restoration. Others involve hyperactive brain activity and vivid internal simulations. And REM sleep was especially strange because the brain looked awake while the body was almost completely paralyzed. Think about how bizarre that is. Nature intentionally disconnects your muscles while your brain creates virtual realities. Why? Probably so you don't physically act out your dreams. Because without this paralysis, sleeping humans might literally run, punch, jump, or attack imaginary threats. And sometimes that safety system fails. There's an actual condition called REM sleep behavior disorder where people physically perform dream actions in real life. Some shout. Some punch walls. Some accidentally injure themselves, which reveals something unsettling. Dreams are not passive movies. Your brain treats them as experiences. Now here's where Oneirology becomes truly fascinating. Dreams are not random nonsense in the way people often assume. Yes, dreams can be absurd. A classroom becomes an ocean. Your friend suddenly becomes your teacher. Gravity stops working. But underneath the chaos, scientists discovered recurring emotional patterns. Fear, stress, desire, memory, social conflict, embarrassment, threat simulation. Your dreaming brain seems obsessed with emotionally important information. And that connects directly to one of the biggest theories about dreaming, memory consolidation. Throughout the day, your brain absorbs enormous amounts of information. Most of it is useless. Your brain must decide what should be kept, what should be deleted, what should be connected. Dreaming may be part of that sorting process. Studies show sleep improves learning, emotional processing, and problem-solving. In some experiments, people performed better on difficult tasks after sleeping than after staying awake. And sometimes dreams themselves appear to participate in problem-solving. One famous example involves chemist August Keckel. He had struggled to understand the structure of benzene for years. Then he reportedly dreamed of a snake biting its own tail, forming a ring. That dream helped inspire the realization that benzene molecules form circular structures. Even Paul McCartney said the melody for Yesterday came to him in a dream. The brain, during sleep, may combine ideas more freely because logical filters weaken. It starts connecting distant concepts that waking consciousness normally separates, which may explain why dreams feel both creative and insane at the same time. Now this is where psychology enters the story, because no discussion of dreams can avoid Sigmund Freud. Freud believed dreams were disguised expressions of unconscious desires. According to him, the dream your brain shows you is not the real message. It's symbolic camouflage. A staircase might symbolize something sexual. A locked room might represent repression. Dreams, in Freud's view, were coded psychological messages. This idea became enormously influential, but modern neuroscience heavily criticizes many Freudian interpretations because they often lacked scientific evidence. Still, Freud did something important. He forced humanity to take the unconscious mind seriously. Then Carl Jung expanded dream theory even further. Jung believed dreams were not just about hidden desires, but about deeper universal symbols shared across humanity. He called these archetypes: the shadow, the hero, the wise old figure, the mother, the trickster. According to Jung, dreams connect us to ancient psychological patterns embedded within human consciousness itself. Now, whether you agree with Freud or Jung, both recognize something modern science still accepts. Dreams are emotionally meaningful, even if the exact interpretation remains debated. Today, Oneirology includes multiple major approaches. Neuroscientists study brain activity during sleep. Psychologists analyze emotional and behavioral patterns in dreams. Cognitive scientists explore how dreaming relates to memory and learning. Philosophers investigate what dreams reveal about consciousness and reality itself. And each perspective reveals a different piece of the puzzle. For example, some researchers propose the threat simulation theory. The idea is surprisingly simple. Dreams may function like virtual reality survival training. Your ancestors who mentally rehearsed dangers during dreams might have reacted faster to real threats in waking life. And when you think about common nightmares, this becomes strangely believable. Being chased, falling, losing control, being attacked, failing socially. Dreams often simulate danger. Your brain may literally be practicing survival. Another theory is the activation synthesis model. This one argues dreams are partly the brain trying to make sense of random neural activity. Basically, during REM sleep, different brain regions activate chaotically. Then the brain desperately stitches those signals into a story. In other words, dreams may not begin as stories. Your brain invents the story afterward, which sounds ridiculous, until you realize your waking brain also constantly constructs reality from incomplete information. Even right now, your brain edits, filters, predicts, and reconstructs what you experience. Reality itself is partially a controlled hallucination. Dreams may simply reveal that process more openly. And then there's lucid dreaming, one of the strangest experiences humans can have. A lucid dream happens when you become aware that you're dreaming while still inside the dream. Some people can even control the environment. They fly, change locations, talk to dream characters, experiment with physics, and this is scientifically real. Researchers verified lucid dreaming by asking dreamers to perform prearranged eye movements during REM sleep. Because eye muscles are not fully paralyzed during REM, lucid dreamers could communicate from inside dreams using specific eye patterns. Think about how insane this is scientifically. A conscious person inside a dream sending signals to the waking world. It sounds like science fiction, but it's experimentally verified. And lucid dreaming raises terrifying philosophical questions. If your brain can generate a convincing world while asleep, how can you be absolutely certain you're awake right now? This question haunted philosophers for centuries. René Descartes famously asked, "How do we distinguish dreams from reality with complete certainty?" Even modern virtual reality technology makes this question more disturbing. If artificial worlds become realistic enough, the line between dream, simulation, and reality may blur even further. Oneirology eventually stops being just about sleep. It becomes a study of consciousness itself. Now here's something even stranger. Not everyone dreams visually. Blind individuals also dream. People born blind often experience dreams through sound, touch, emotion, spatial awareness, and texture instead of images, which suggests dreams are not fundamentally movies. Dreams are simulations built from whatever sensory tools the brain possesses. Animals likely dream too. Scientists observed sleeping dogs twitching as if chasing something. Cats display REM sleep patterns. And then we encounter nightmares. Why would evolution allow terrifying dreams, especially recurring ones? Nightmares are deeply connected to stress, trauma, anxiety, and emotional overload. PTSD patients often relive traumatic events repeatedly in dreams. It's as if the brain becomes trapped trying to process overwhelming emotional information. Some therapies now intentionally work with dreams to reduce trauma responses, so dreams are not meaningless side effects. They can directly affect mental health. And yet, despite decades of research, scientists still cannot fully answer the biggest question: why do dreams exist at all? There is no single universally accepted theory. That's important. Oneirology is still unfinished science. We know REM sleep matters. We know dreaming correlates with memory and emotion. We know certain brain regions become highly active. We know dreams influence psychological states. But the ultimate purpose remains uncertain. And maybe that uncertainty itself tells us something profound, because dreams expose a deeply uncomfortable truth about the human mind. When asleep, the brain creates worlds with fewer restrictions. Dreams reveal the machinery behind consciousness. They show that perception is not passive recording. It is active generation. Your brain is not a camera. It is a reality engine. And perhaps that's why dreams fascinate humanity so deeply. Because when you dream, you briefly witness the mind creating worlds from nothing, all generated inside 3 pounds of biological tissue floating in darkness inside your skull. Tonight, you will probably do it again. You'll close your eyes in one universe and wake up from another. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the science and mystery of dreams, subscribe for more videos exploring the strange ideas hiding. And before you go, leave a comment with the weirdest dream you've ever had.